Alright. It's called common sense, people. You should all have it. And if you don't, you should jump off a fucking bridge and make it easier on the rest of us. The point is, there's a famous quote. Forgot exactly by who. It goes something like, even harder to deceive someone is to convince them that they have been deceived. The reason for that is because your pride's involved. Once you've grown up thinking something, believing something, it's even harder for you to believe that shit's not real. Because you kind of feel like an idiot. Like, how the fuck did they get this over on me? But everybody's been deceived. So you should just wake the fuck up and realize it. Now, the simple common sense issues I want to talk to you about today. Stuff like the Hubble, seasons, stars. Let's start with the fucking Hubble. This mysterious telescope flying through galaxies and supposedly sending pictures back. Now, even at the speed of light, that shit wouldn't work. From their own heliocentric theory, and remember, it is just a fucking theory because it has not been proven. If it was real, it would be proven very, very fucking easily. But it's just a fucking theory. Now, the theory states that we are flying around the sun, which is 93 million miles away. So if we're flying around the sun, that's over 1 million miles a day that the Earth is traveling. If we're traveling at over 1 million miles a day, plus the sun is also traveling from the Big Bang, right, in an ever-expanding universe, everything should be expanding. So, that means in a year, we wouldn't arrive back at the same spot. We might arrive back at the same spot around the sun, but then we'd be fucking, billions of miles or millions of miles in another direction following the sun according to their theory. Now, gravity is just a theory also. We know shit falls down. Everybody knows that. But Newton's version of gravity does not work. You have to times the Earth by 4 and do retarded shit to make it work. That's the biggest fucking reason that, it's just a theory because it's never been proven. So, back to the heliocentric model and the Hubble telescope. Now, if the Hubble is flying, millions of miles away and sending back these images on their millions of mile wireless internet, how the fuck does it know where the Earth's going to be? Remember, we're not only flying over 1 million miles a day around the sun, according to their theory, but we're also flying through space at the same time. Now, think about what that means. We're following the sun at millions of miles, and then when we do come back to the same spot around the sun, we're millions of miles elsewhere. So then the Hubble shoots its fucking radio waves or whatever, however they're trying to say they fucking are sending this information. Remember, the Hubble can also take pictures of itself as it flies by Jupiter and shit like that. So, obviously it's bullshit. But back to the matter at hand. How the fuck would it know where the fuck we are, how to get the information back to us? Because we're now millions of miles, a couple years later, down the fucking road, essentially. It doesn't work. If you think it works, then that shows why you believe fucking NASA's bullshit. It is constant bullshit. Use common sense. Recognize NASA is a military wing of the U.S. government. If you don't know all the fucking fucked up shit the U.S. government's done, then open your fucking eyes. And it's not just the U.S. government. Every government does fucked up shit. Every government cares about staying in power and making sure their people are in power. Now let's go back to that heliocentric theory of us flying over 1,000,000 miles a day around the sun, as the sun's also traveling, over 1,000,000 miles a day. So that would put us at over 2,000,000 miles a day traveling. So we're flying around the sun. The sun's flying off into space from the Big Bang, and everything's ever expanding in their ever expanding galaxy or universe. How the fuck do the stars end up back in the same place? Not to mention Polaris, the North Star, never moves at all, one fucking bit. Think, people. Common sense. Common fucking sense. If we are millions of miles away, we'd at least see some parallax. If you don't know what parallax is, look it up. Between the fucking stars, the law of perspective states that, if something's further away, the closer object is going to be moving faster, moving more than the further object. So we'd see at least some type of parallax, some moving between the stars. Now, I was talking to some idiot on YouTube. He tried saying every single constellation is its own galaxy, and the gravity in the galaxy is holding the constellation together. Now, I mean, you got to be pretty stupid to believe that, but let's take that for a minute. If, Scorpio, it's in its own galaxy, and Orion's in its own galaxy, and Capricorn, whatever, are all in their own galaxies, and their own gravity is holding them together, keeping them from expanding, you would still see parallax. Not to mention, but the other galaxies in an ever-expanding universe would be expanding. They'd be moving. Not to mention, we'd be fucking millions of miles down the road or across the galaxy. So therefore, the stars would never return to the same place. That is one of the biggest fucking things with common sense, that you can look up at the sky, look at the star patterns, look at how it's been the same for 20,000 years at least since mankind's been looking up at the stars, keeping fucking track. The stars always return to the same fucking spot. And all they do is they spin around in a little fucking circle. All the stars are exactly the same amount from each other as they've always been. In an ever-expanding universe, they would not be the same amount, right? Everything would be expanding. Even if each constellation was in its own galaxy, according to this dumb shit, the other galaxies, the separate galaxies, would be expanding from each other. So the space in between the constellations would grow, which it does not. That's why the heliocentric theory is just a fucking theory, because it can't be proven. And people who take the time to use their common sense and think, see why it can't be proven, because it's fucking retarded. It seems like NASA's big fucking joke. Look at how many people we can get to think this dumb shit when they can look up at the sky and see it's not true. But they believe us because we're fucking astrophysicists and we give ourselves our own fucking titles and they think we're really smart. Look, they are fucking stupid because they believe us just because we say we're smart. It's fucking frustrating. I think it was Eric Dubay or Jerism that said, it is so frustrating to people who see the truth that others don't. Because once you see it, it's everywhere. In your everyday life, you will see that the world does not move. You'll see mountains off in the distance, and you'll think, oh my God, wow, I can almost see the bottom of that fucking mountain, and that's 100 miles away. I would not be able to see that on a globe. I'd barely be able to see the tip, and it would be inverted because it'd be on the other fucking side of a sphere. Now, the next issue I want to talk about with this theory is seasons. I think seasons in a 12-hour day proves the heliocentric model wrong. Obviously, if the sun was 93 million miles away, and we return in the same amount, every day would be 12 hours, not just the solstice. That seems like child's play to me. So we'll move on to the seasons. Now, according to the heliocentric model and the crap we learn in school, is that when we're tilted close to the sun, it's summertime, and we're tilted away, it's winter, right? Now, if the sun's heat is coming from 93 million miles away, that little fucking tilt is going to cause that much temperature change? That's fucking moronic. If our world is is 25,000 miles in diameter, what they tell us, 25,000 miles wide. So that little curve would be less than 25,000 miles. So less than a tenth of a 250,000 miles difference causes that big of temperature change? Think, people. Fucking think. 93 million miles, the sun's rays are traveling, an extra 25,000 miles causes that big of a temperature change. It does not make sense. Now, most people who insult the flat earth model, they don't even understand. They haven't done the research. As soon as you do the research, it all makes perfect sense. Use your fucking common sense and you're like, whoa, it's like a fucking epiphany. Like somebody just turned the fucking light on in your head. This is becoming another rant. But okay. So the seasons. We're supposed to believe that it causes that much of a difference just because the Earth switches a little bit. Now, everybody who wants to test any fucking theory, if you believe that the fucking moon is reflecting sunlight should obviously have heat. Now, they tell us the moon is a 250,000 miles away, right? So, if the sunlight is from 93 million miles, hits the moon, back down on Earth, it should still have heat, right? It's only an extra 50,000 miles at most, or 500,000 miles at most, 500,000 miles. So, from 93 million miles, an extra 500,000 miles, like a 200th, like fucking nothing. If you imagine half a penny to a dollar, it's still going to have heat. But you can go out with a thermometer any night of the week, except for the new moon, put the thermometer in the moonlight, then put it in the shade, or whatever shade there is at night, and not in the fucking moonlight. Don't want idiots to respond in the comment section, there's no fucking shade at night. You know what I mean. Put it in the moonlight, put it in the shade, and what will the thermometer say? Now, ideally, if it was reflecting sunlight, it would be warmer in the moonlight, right? Seems simple enough, but when you do it, it's actually colder in the moonlight, proving the moonlight has a cooling effect, proving there's no way it's sunlight. Not to mention, anytime you see the fucking moon and the sun at the same time, you say, well, it should be reflecting, differently. We shouldn't have this little corner on the opposite side of the moon when the sun's over here. It's all around you, people. Once you are willing to let your common sense be your guide, like Jiminy Cricket, just backwards with your fucking common sense instead of your conscience, let your common sense lead you. Guess you've been told this bullshit since you were in first grade, and it sounds fucking retarded at first. But once you let your common sense, your eyes, and your own knowledge lead you, you're going to see the truth. It is everywhere. And it's so frustrating that other people don't, and that they're still so stupid and blind just because some astrophysicist, some motherfucker that's an admitted Mason, tells you it's one thing. If you really think Bill Nye does science, you're a fucking moron too, and you shouldn't even take the time. So just go sit on your fucking Xbox and jack off all day because you're not going to get it. But if you have the slightest bit of a brain, look into the heliocentric model. Think about what it means to be in an ever-expanding universe, that the universe is constantly expanding, so nothing would be in the same place ever again. But we don't find that. In fact, stuff like the North Star never moves at all. There's no parallax. There's no distance between galaxies that is growing to prove this fucking theory. That's why it's been a theory for hundreds of years and isn't considered proof, because so many things can prove it wrong, like that. The ether experiment proves we're not moving. Airy's failure proves we're not moving. It's called that because he failed to prove the Earth was moving. If we're moving at 1,000 miles an hour, twisting, and 1,000,000 miles a day through space, that would be easy to fucking prove. If there was 8 inches squared per fucking mile of curvature, that would be easy to prove. This would not be a fucking debate. You know, why is Obama writing this shit into his fucking presidential speeches? Because we're hitting fucking buttons. Why the fuck is Neil deGrasse Tyson going on Saturday Night Live or Comedy Central and talking shit about B.O.B. when B.O.B.'s calling him out? Because we're opening people's minds. People are understanding they have to do some type of damage control. If this movement was so fucking stupid, they wouldn't bother to give it the time of day. But the fact that they are should be the biggest fucking red flag. Not to mention the crazy fucking anomalies that they expect you to believe with pure faith to believe in their theories. Remember, gravity is just a theory. The heliocentric model is just a theory. I'm not saying shit doesn't fall down. I'm not saying the sun doesn't go from east to west. But they are just theories. And these theories can still be explained on a flat earth model. The only thing is, they can't be proven wrong on there like they can with the spherical earth and the heliocentric theory. The fact that they can be proven wrong is one of the biggest fucking red flags you guys should be concerned about. So please, use your common sense, look it up, look into the fucking seasons, look into the stars, look into the Hubble telescope, and ask yourself how it can take pictures of itself millions of miles away. Doesn't make fucking sense. You know, apparently Mars is, 140 million miles away? But it's taking pictures of itself as it passes past Jupiter? Think about it, man. Fucking think. You're looking at cartoons and CGI. Take it from a graphic designer. There's fucking things we look for. Look at the cloud patterns repeating. Look at that 5 red pairs faggot video of fucking 24-hour sun in Antarctica. You'll see it's a fake sun. You'll see there's cloud patterns that repeat. It's bullshit. They're doing damage control. Because people are fucking waking up, and you should too. All I'm asking is, use your common sense. Think about it for yourselves. If you still don't agree with me, it's your fucking right. That's the whole point of a free country and a free society, which they don't want. They want you to believe what they think. They're taking away your rights now. If you don't think what they think, you're considered a terrorist. You're considered a threat. You can be thrown in these internment camps like FEMA and shit. So watch out. Wake up and do something before it's too fucking late. You know? Wake the fuck up or get woke the fuck up.